We're going to look at importing IDML files into Affinity Publisher and also tackle issues like font substitution and locating missing resources. Now, just a quick note before we get started. If you want to transition your own documents from Adobe InDesign to Affinity Publisher, you need to save them out specifically to the IDML format. So when you go to File and Save As, there is a specific drop-down option for this. Okay, with that covered, let's get started with a simple IDML template. So we can either open the IDML file by going to File and Open, or we can drag drop the file in, which is what I will do here. So I'll navigate out to my File Explorer and I'll just open this Alive Magazine template folder. So I just want to explore the template folder until I find the IDML file to import. Now, some templates have different size variants. I'll go for the A4 version, and typically we want Adobe CS4, which will contain the IDML file format. So I can just click drag and bring this into Affinity Publisher like so. Now, when we have missing fonts, we have the option for font substitution by going to the Font Manager option up here. So if you are unable to install fonts and you need to substitute the font family, you can do so by using the drop-down options here. But for now, I'll leave these on the default options and click Close. And as we can see, the document structure of this IDML file has been brought into Affinity Publisher intact. We have overflowing text frames because of the missing fonts, and those are indicated by all of the red boxes here. We also start in construction mode, which means we are seeing the grids, the guides, the bleed, and of course the margins. We can switch to preview mode by using this option up here, and that allows us to isolate just the design to ensure that everything was imported correctly. Okay, let's close this document down and look at a slightly more complex example. So again, I'll move out to my File Explorer, go back to the top level folder, and this time I'm going to import a fashion magazine template. So here is the IDML file, and again I'll just drag drop that into Affinity Publisher. Now, when importing IDML files, you may come across this issue. The missing linked resources are actually included as part of the template, but when they were added into the original document, absolute file paths were used rather than relative file paths. And so Affinity Publisher cannot locate these files. So to locate and relink them, we can click Yes here, and we will then be prompted to browse and locate a missing resource named here. So we can go into the Fashion Magazine template folder, and there is another folder in here called Links. This contains all of the linked resources that we require. So we need to find this JPEG file. If we scroll down, it's located here. So we just click to select it and then choose Open. Now, depending on how scattered around the original linked resources were, we may need to locate several files. So for example, we now need to find the barcode PNG file, which would have been stored originally in an entirely different folder. So here is the barcode file. We can click Open here. And then in some scenarios, there may be some resources that are no longer used in the final design, but which are still linked to or referenced. In this particular template, there were some images that were outside of the main spread, and so were clearly not being used in the final design. Now, they were not included in the template download, and so we can't locate them, which means all we have to do here is click Cancel, and then Affinity Publisher will locate the rest of the missing linked resources and render the final document. And so once the document has loaded, we can just quickly browse through and see that the document structure has been brought in completely intact. And also, if we scroll down here, we will see some of the missing resources that were outside of the main spread. These are the image files that were not included in the template download. As we saw with the previous design, we are currently in construction mode, so we can toggle over to preview mode to see the final design layout. Okay, let's close this document down. And we will take a look at another workflow which involves placing an IDML file into an existing publication. So for this, I'll go back to my File Explorer and open the Recipe folder. Now, I have an Affinity Publisher document file here, which I'm going to drag drop in. So this is just a blank document layout saved in the native Affinity Publisher file format. And what we're going to do is actually place an IDML file rather than open it separately as a new document. So to place an image or a document, we can go to File and Place, or we can drag drop the file in, which is what I will do here. So I'll go back to my File Explorer. I will find the IDML file, click drag, and I want to offer that to any of the pages here. So I'll just drag drop and let go of the mouse button over the top page. Okay, let's just zoom in. And I'm just going to click drag until this lines up nicely with my page. So what we can do when placing both PDF and IDML files is on the context toolbar here, we can choose which page to display. So for example, if we were to duplicate this linked IDML file by using Command J on Mac or Control J on Windows, we can then drag that down here onto this two-page spread. Now on the spread option on the context toolbar, we can change this now to pages 2 and 3, and then just click drag to position these pages in place. And finally, for the end page, we can duplicate once again, so Command J on Mac, Control J on Windows, drag the duplicated copy down here and change the spread to page 4, and then just reposition. And that is just an alternative approach to importing an IDML file into an existing publication rather than opening it as a new publication or a new document. So there we go. That was a quick look at IDML import for Affinity Publisher. Hope you found it useful, and thank you for watching.